Today we are making chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate chip cookies use the creaming method of mixing. We've used the muffin method when we made pancakes and the biscuit method when we made the biscuits and gravy. Altogether, these are the three most common mixing methods. So, my recipe for chocolate chip cookies, and I cannot give you a source for this. I don't remember where I got it. I've been using it for many years, and it's one of the most popular classroom recipes. I am making the larger batch that makes 55 to 60 cookies. I am starting with my fat. It's already in the mixer. I have 2/3 cup of butter and 2/3 cup of butter flavored shortening. This works with margarine. It works all butter. I've made it with a variety of different fats based on what I have in the house. So if you need to substitute because you don't have the right fat at home, you can definitely do that. In addition to my fat, I have 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of white sugar, 2 eggs, 3½ cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. Okay. In the little cup, I also have a tablespoon of vanilla and 2 cups of chocolate chips. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is the creaming method. It's actually pretty simple. Okay. You could literally take the list of ingredients, write creaming method, and if you know your creaming method, you can go right through this. Okay. So I like to combine my fats together first. So I'm just going to start this on slow. I have the paddle beater on my mixer, which is not plugged in. So to this fat, which is it's still combining and the sugar will help, we are going to cream in, and that's where it gets its name, the creaming method. Oops, we're going to cream in the sugar on this one. I'm going to use speed 2, maybe move up to 4. Light and fluffy. Alright, so light and fluffy, here we go. I've been having this problem with this brown sugar where there are chunks in it that won't break down. Alright, so we will scrape down the sides of our bowl, kind of watch, see if there are any more chunks of brown sugar that haven't broken down. To this, I'll go ahead and start that back up. You're going to add your eggs one at a time. And you're going to mix until it's thoroughly incorporated. stop again, scrape down my bowl. It's actually in pretty good shape. All right, so now I'm going to mix in my flour, and I'm going to do this in batches. That's my method. I've been told that you don't have to do this. I've been told it makes it mix in better. Your choice there. But I like 3 batches. Lower speed. I'm probably going to end up just adding a little at a time as it mixes in. Once this is combined, we're going to stop mixing. We're going to take it out of the mixer. And that'll also catch any of that flour that got caught on my beater. All right.
Gas Ledger what corrupt.
Okay, so there's a little flour that's loose. I'm going to scrape down the sides. At this point, I'm doing all my mixing by hand so I don't overdevelop the gluten. We are going to add 2 cups of chocolate chips. I'm going to put roughly half that in. Once I've got that incorporated, I'll add the rest. All right. And that's the creaming method of mixing. Alright, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I have a cookie scoop that I'm going to try. I've used it to make other things. I've not used it to make chocolate chip cookies. If you don't have a cookie scoop, you can use 2 spoons. And we'll show you that technique in a minute. Okay, so I have an ungreased cookie sheet. Greasing your cookie sheet will make your cookies spread thinner and crisper. There is enough fat in that cookie, about 1 1/3 cups to be exact, but you do not need to grease this pan. If you're concerned about them sticking, I'd recommend parchment paper, which is generally a silicone coated paper. Do not use wax paper. That will melt, that will burn. Okay. I would not get my dough any bigger than this because of the simple fact it'll affect how well your cookies bake. The first batch, I always put a limited amount of cookies on my pan just in case they want to run together. Then I know on my next pan how many I can put in. Okay, and then for those of you who don't have a cookie scoop, Okay. When it says drop by teaspoonful, this is a soup spoon. This is a teaspoon. Okay, so it's the smaller of the spoons. And that's the one you want to use. So I have 2 of those. If I were going to use spoons to do this, I scoop my dough on my spoon and I push it off with the other spoon. And I'm actually going to space these out a little more. Okay. And push it off. All right. Okay, so these will go into the oven. The recipe says 10 to 12 minutes. I usually set it about 9 and check them. We're looking for them to be delicately brown on the edge and to look almost done. If they look fully done in the oven, by the time they cool, they will overcook. If you remember, we've talked about carryover cooking. Cookies are something that still bake when they're on the hot pan and when they come out of the oven because of carryover cooking. We're going to check on our cookies. Turn the oven light on. Okay. So we have them in the center of the oven and we've centered the pan. I cook only 1 pan at a time because I feel it cooks more evenly. I know some people like to do 2. If you do 2, they need to be on separate racks and they need to be rotated about halfway through. So we're going to grab a oven mitt and we're going to check these guys out. Okay, so we're delicately brown on the edge. They look like they could cook a little longer, but we know we don't need to do that. They're going to sit on the pan about 1 minute. Oops. After 1 minute, I am going to put them on the cooling rack, and then I'll let them cool a bit before I can enjoy. Okay, so my next pan of cookies is ready to go in the oven. Okay. Right back in, we're going to center. And we'll set the timer for 9 minutes.